All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. I'll call the meeting to order. First couple items on our agenda are the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance, which we'll do at the same time. And Father Jesus from St. Anthony's Catholic Church will be leading us in our invocation. So please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. No, it's last.
Who arrange all things in wondrous order,
govern in marvelous ways. Look with favor on the assembled, for whom we pray now, and mercifully pour out upon them the spirit of your wisdom, that they may decide everything for the well-being and peace of all, and may never turn aside from your will. Through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, God forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Jeff. All right, next item on our agenda is the roll call. Let the roll call show that all council members are present.
So noted.
Next is our minutes.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve the council regular meeting minutes of October 2nd, 2023, the Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting minutes of September 7th, 2023, and the Arts and Humanities Commission regular meeting minutes of September 5th, 2023, and the special meeting of September 26th, 2023.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All righty. Next is our claims against the city, item D.
Mayor McFarland, I move to accept and pay the claims dated September 27th through October 10th, 2023 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Claims are approved. If you have an agenda, we are going to pass item E. Oops, excuse me, I'm sorry. Approval of the agenda. I'm on the wrong spot. Anybody have any changes to the agenda? Larry?
Chairman, Council.
This is where it goes.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, members of the audience, two things. Number one, I just want to remind anyone that may be present for the Mission Royale Community Facilities District, that particular meeting will commence following our regular council meeting. And I also need to remove the special presentation of Martha Bender tonight. She's had some personal issues and she's unable to make it, so we'll add it to a future agenda.
All right. Thank you, Larry. Any changes from council? Okay. Seeing no changes, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Meeting agenda is approved. We're going to skip F, and we'll move to consent agenda, item G. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine matters and will be enacted by one motion and one roll call vote of the council. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or member of the public so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence of the agenda. Anyone on the council have anything you want to change or remove? Anybody in the audience? Anybody from community? No, this isn't a chance to talk yet. I'll call. Or you want to remove something from the agenda? Okay, from the consent agenda. Okay.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second. All right, a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right. Now, this is the time when we'll open the floor to the public. This is public comments, item H on our agenda. Let me remind everybody to please state your name and your address when you come to the podium, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes. And as a reminder, these are non-agendized items, so we can't have an open discussion on them. But if you have something you want to leave with Mr. Raines, you can, and it will become public record. So anyone like to address the council? I do have a bunch of speaking sheets here, so if you want to go first, since you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. James Stillwell, 1479 East 11th Street, Casa Grande.
Timer.
I wanted to speak tonight in regards to the Florence Boulevard Streetscape project. The presentation that was submitted tonight was missing a few slides that were presented last week online. Some of those slides were from the city of Tolleson and what they felt was good about the road diet. So I wanted to first talk about the city of Tolleson. The city of Tolleson, per the U.S. Census, had a 2022 population of just over 7,000 people, just over 5 square miles, a growth rate of 0.6%. The city of Casa Grande has a population, again by the U.S. Census, just over 60,000, 110 square miles, a growth rate of 11.9%. Two wildly different numbers. We are not the city of Tolleson. The survey cards, people said that we wanted to be more like the city of Casa Grande, or I'm sorry, the city of Chandler and Gilbert, not more like the city of Tolleson. Okay. Way different. What works for the city of Tolleson doesn't necessarily work for the city of Casa Grande. For every Tolleson type success story, there's many stories of failure. Venice Boulevard in California, after 18 months of a road diet, citizens went crazy about a 0.8 mile stretch. It cost the city $1.8 million to change it back. They added speeding traffic. It added speeding traffic to adjoining neighborhood streets. It created log jams. It increased congestion. It killed mom and pop businesses. In Playa del Rey, fierce public opposition. It had council members recalled. It created traffic jams. They reverted it after 4 days. What they did, they focused on speed feedback signs, traffic signals. They gave pedestrians a head start. They implemented speed tables, flashing beacon crosswalks, resting red traffic lights that would remain in red in all directions during off-peak driving hours. 8th Avenue in Gainesville, Florida, their road diet only lasted 15 months. Citizens reported tricky merge points. Drivers struggled, even though the simulations like J2 showed tonight showed that it would work flawlessly. It didn't. It created bottlenecks. Low counts of cyclists, low counts of pedestrians. Why should we be inconveniencing the many people in cars while only marginally affecting the few people walking and biking? The information that I've been able to find shows that it costs anywhere from $700,000 or more to remove or undo these road diets. Chandler, Arizona's Arizona Streetscape Project, J2 provided them with 4 options. 3 out of those 4 options were for a single lane in each direction. One was to have 2 lanes in each direction. Why is Casa Grande not being provided options? Why is Casa Grande's only option a single lane in each direction? I have a lot more. I will present it. Please read through it.
Thank you.
Please read the minutes, see the rest of that. Yeah.
All right. Bobby Seabolt, did I say that right?
She left.
Okay. Tina Cramp?
I haven't seen her.
She's in the back.
Hi, Tina.
I might be a little too early because I really want to wait till the presentation of the public hearing for
Okay.
the annexation. Can I come back if my questions aren't answered?
Yes, actually,
Is that okay?
you could wait to the public hearing if you want.
You can
No, yeah, no, I'm going to wait.
Okay,
I want to listen, but if I can, I'd like to wait till after that because I do have some questions.
okay,
Okay, thank you.
all right. Okay, Aaron Jacob? Okay. Is it David Nasser?
Nestor?
Nestor? Okay. Nancy Hawkins. I know I saw Nancy here.
Hi, Mayor McFarland and council. I appreciate this work session that you did have and the comments from the city council. I appreciate the fact that you are looking into this as seriously as you are. It seemed like one of the main reasons that they were saying that people are for this is it would be a drive-to, not a drive-through. But when you look at the demographics of Arizona, and especially down here in the desert, first of all, walking in 100 plus 10 degrees is not something that people are going to gravitate towards. So forcing people to walk to or ride their bike to is something that I don't think is going to encourage people to visit an area that they can't drive to. Also, people that are in the retirement communities and all of the winter visitors that happen to be 55 plus, many of them can't walk or bike to. So they'll just avoid the area altogether, myself included, because I can't walk. So I think you need to take into consideration our demographics, our weather, and things like that. They showed beautiful areas where people are enjoying the outdoors, but that isn't Arizona for 4 to 5 months out of the year. And in the wintertime with the winter visitors, that would eliminate, I think, a lot of them. Another thing, if people want to do the exercising, that type of thing, there's plenty of areas and parks, anything else, bike paths in their neighborhoods, they can do that. But this is sort of forcing them to do it, and I think you'll find that people will avoid the area, just like you driving to the council meeting here or something, you went a different way. You just avoid the area altogether if you can't drive to it. People moved here because it was a rural community. They expect to drive, they like the space, they like the mobility, and as fast as we are growing, and you brought up those situations, we need more traffic areas, not less. Let's see, it seems like, well, you've seen this, and one of the things that they talked about Tolleson and how it was having a positive impact on it. Well, it looks like Tolleson, because maybe people aren't driving to the area, it's going vertical, and I don't think we have the wherewithal to do that in downtown Casa Grande, and that would not be preserving downtown Casa Grande and what we want it to become. I just hope I did leave some literature with all of you, and I realize that that may not fit all of this situation, but I think there's a lot of statistics as far as safety that they talked about tonight. I think some of those statistics could be rebutted, would not be completely accurate, or you can always have statistics on both sides of everything. So anyway, I appreciate you having this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Jean Henderson.
Good evening. I am Jean Henderson, still houseless, using CG Helps' address, 350 East 6th Street, Casa Grande, Arizona, 85122. I was pleased to read the letter to the editor in the Dispatch, October 14th, regarding the shame of the Casa Grande Mall continuing to be empty and all those who hang around there. What also pleased me was the two writers' discussed regarding the street racers not to be tolerated. Since I see these street racers nightly and how they show disdain for those of us who are normal drivers, it would be truly beneficial for them to move elsewhere away from the heart of Casa Grande, like Jimmy Kerr Boulevard, and I hear them there sometimes. If the Casa Grande Mall does begin to grow businesses, having the street racers around and their minions could prove dangerous to those frequenting the new businesses. I have seen many times and heard when street racers are causing much out-of-control driving and making all the various noises and sounds to show off to one another, almost causing accidents on the streets and at parking lots. For example, Fry's on Florence Boulevard. The speeds on lots are unnerving at times, and I mean really unnerving. Also, parents from as far back as 2021 have voiced concerns regarding the street racers that their children aren't safe even on parking lots. I, too, have been fearful since 4/30/21. Hopefully, the mall and street racer situation will be rectified soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jane. Got one more speaker card here, Michael Cruz.
Mayor, Council, thank you very much. My name is Michael Cruz, resident Casa Grande. I actually wanted to say a few words regarding the cityscape project that was previously discussed in this initial special session. I'm a resident, I live here. And when I say live here, I live right here in the Evergreen community where I could walk straight to Florence Boulevard within a minute. I live here and I see the traffic every day. I see the area every day. And I just wanted to impart a couple thoughts and some just general ideas and some perspective from someone that lives in this community, lives in the impacted area, commutes on this road every day to my place of employment. Casa Grande's growing, there's no doubt. The ACA listed a report, and with that number data, what I was able to pull, we're averaging about 58 new families each month into this community. When I say each family, it's about 2.6 is the average family household that's coming here. So there's no doubt it's growing. But what's also growing is the need for opportunities for these families to engage and improve their quality of life. You know, I work with a lot of people at my place of employment, and 9 times out of 10, they don't live here, and part of it is because there's nothing to do for young professionals in the area, in this community. And as we explore and continue on with this project, I encourage you to think about the actual voices that live and commute on this street from the impacted area that on the lane reduction. I think the community fails to understand there's actually going to be an increase in traffic lanes on the far east side, but I think we fail to recognize that idea. I think a lot of people just bunch it under one, that it's going to be restricted. The part in question really, there's opportunity for growth, there's opportunity to beautify the area, but more importantly, it's opportunity for the council and the staff to explore ways to bring new people in here and to enhance the quality of life. And it starts with projects like this. It starts with offering the opportunity for businesses to come, explore, expand their offerings, to be able to provide a good mix of entertainment, nightlife, and commerce and industry. Ultimately, I will say, as a resident that lives here, and I've seen the city manager at 6 in the morning when I go on walks coming into the office. And it's one of those things where safety is an issue. You know, there's many times where I'm walking my dog and there's cars that just cut right in front of you. So these are things to explore. I encourage you to engage the Evergreen community at a more intimate level. A lot of the people that are speaking don't live exactly in the area of interest, in the area of concern. So I would encourage you to charter some type of further studying and exploration of this area, of people that are directly impacted, because when you really look at the data, the people in this area are not the ones in vehicles. They're the ones walking and riding bicycles because of the demographics. So I encourage you to explore that further. Thank you for listening to my comments. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael. I don't have any more speaking cards, but is there anybody else who would like to address the council? This is your opportunity. All right, yeah, we do have some public meetings later that we will open for additional comments. So, all right, I'm going to close the public comments section of our meeting, and then we'll move on to our awards of contracts, and we'll start with I-1.
Mayor, Council, good evening.
Good evening.
Staff recommends the mayor and city council authorize the sole source purchase of Virtua Inc. Law Enforcement Training Simulator for an amount not to exceed $128,757, plus any applicable sales taxes and/or shipping and handling charges. The Arizona legislature has appropriated $138,000 from the Peace Officers Training and Equipment Fund to the Casa Grande Police Department to purchase a firearms training simulator. The police department's current firearms simulator is approximately 12 years old. It's become outdated, it's prone to repair, and it's no longer efficient and a realistic training tool. So these firearm simulators play a crucial role in enhancing the effectiveness and safety of law enforcement officers and the communities in which they serve. Simulators offer a realistic and immersive environment that replicates real-life scenarios, enabling officers to develop and refine their de-escalation skills, firearm skills, and tactical awareness, as well as dealing with high-stress situations, marksmanship, judgment, and ultimately fostering better preparedness for real-life encounters. And that is all I have pending your questions.
Anybody have any questions? Bob?
Yep. Lieutenant, is this similar to the Milo system?
Yes, but it's better, sir.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I actually went through training up there and went through the simulator, and it's pretty impressive. So if you recall, sir, the older one has actually one screen. This one actually is a V180, so it's 3 screens and it's 180 degrees.
Wow.
So there's a lot of cool stuff with it.
Okay. I want to tell you that I get personally offended when things that I bought are called old and worn out. But
I'll recall that for next time, sir.
But I.
Does that give you any idea that you're getting old, Bob?
I think you said it was
So
outdated.
dated, huh? So dated.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Matt?
Wait, I got it, quick. Is this like just one person at a time, or is it?
No, you can do multiple people, sir.
Okay.
It's
I'm just curious.
It's a lot more adaptive too, so you can actually move the latest or the last generation.
The old technology?
Yeah. So,
He doesn't want to say old.
yeah, so that one was more, you had to kind of stay within a more confined area, but this one's the receptors, if you will, actually pick up, and you can kind of move around quite a bit more. So.
Yeah, and I don't know if everyone saw it. I don't think they all read all this, but it was neat. I thought it was neat that they had like the taser as well for
Yes.
de-escalation, and then taser misfires, and so it sounds like a pretty neat system with real world.
Yes, and one of the
scenarios.
Sorry, one of the good things is you can actually use your actual firearm that you're assigned through the training, which is different from the latest generation. So.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
No, we don't want to insult Bob anymore.
All right, thank you, Ken. All right, seeing no other comments, then I will call for a ordinance number, please, Gloria.
Ordinance number 3393, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting the sole source provider offer from Viterra, Inc. to provide law enforcement firearms training simulator, authorizing expenditure of public funds, authorizing the execution of a contract, and authorizing the transfer of budget authority.
Mayor McFarland, I would move for approval of ordinance number 3393 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, when we move to item I2, this is considering approval of resolution number 5589. Chief?
Mr. Mayor, Council, this is for Resolution 5586.
Oh, sorry, I said 9.
This is a resolution that's, again, we're moving forward with expanding the capabilities and enhancing our capabilities at the Communications Center. We are requesting $83,202,060 to upgrade our power phone system. That's for our EMD, our Emergency Medical Dispatch. That's the questioning language that goes through when we're taking calls for somebody who's having a medical emergency. It allows us to provide pre-care, pre-arrival instructions to them prior to our arrival. We're currently working on what's called the light version, the LTE version. We liked it, it worked out really well, so we're gonna upgrade to the full version. There's 3 portions of the contract in the resolution. It's a sole source contract because we already have the Power Phone light version, so we're moving to the full version. We have to pay Tyler as well to implement this and add into the Tyler dispatch system. And we have about $6,500 in fees to SHI, which is through our IT division to connect everything up. This was authorized in our budget, and that's really it, unless you guys have any questions.
Questions? Did a good job of explaining it.
Thank you.
All right, seeing no comments or questions, then I'll call for a resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5586, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting the sole source provider offer from Power Phone, Inc. to provide an upgrade to the software for the emergency medical dispatching program, authorizing expenditure of public funds and authorizing the execution of a contract.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve resolution number 5586 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right. Let's move to item I3 then. This is resolution 5587.
Thank
Kevin?
you. Staff recommends that the mayor and city council authorize the city manager to execute a contract for professional services with Kimley Horn and Associates with a total bid amount of $403,707. And we're also asking for a $25,000 contingency to bring our total spending authority up to $428,707. And this is for the design phase of the widening of McCartney Road, and that's between Pinal Avenue and I-10. So we'll be looking to design that entire roadway segment. This is part of the bond-approved projects. So this is the McCartney section that we're moving forward with full design on. And we'll be working with that consultant throughout this project to develop all the construction drawings for the project, and then obviously bring that back for further consideration by council. We did go through a pre-qualification, a request for qualifications process to pick this consultant. We had 6 consulting firms submit, and through our evaluation process, Kimley Horn was the highest ranked firm that we looked at. So we did budget for this project in this fiscal year, so I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Lisa?
So of course, Kevin, this can't happen fast enough for everyone. I mean, we'll be counting down the days, but realistically, like, what is the timeline for the design phase, and then when do you think it'll come back to us for consideration?
Realistically, this design phase could be up to 18 months. As we start to get into design, there are a lot of options for us. One of the things that we'll most likely do early on is bring a construction manager at risk on board to start to look at some of those constructability issues and start to work on how we might phase this project. So there are opportunities that we can speed certain sections up if we so choose, but we'll get into design and start to get some of those base items figured out, the drainage, pavement width, those types of things, turn lanes, signal configuration, and then work on schedule.
Okay. So 18 months for that piece.
Yeah, it's a complicated design. We're designing the Treckle Road segment as well, and of course, they share some drainage issues that we have there at Treckle, and that's going to be a complicated design. Both firms are going to be working together. The firm that's doing Treckle Road will take the lead on that, but this group will support that effort.
Anybody else?
Let's get it done.
Yeah, get it done, Kevin. All right, no other comments, then I'll entertain a resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5588, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting a proposal from Cactus
Hey, Gloria,
Transport.
I think that's 5587.
What'd she say?
8,
Oh.
which I3.
I'm sorry, you are correct.
Okay.
Let me start that one over again. They got stuck together. Resolution number 5587, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting the proposal from Kimley Horn and Associates, Inc., to provide professional engineering services for the planned McCartney Road improvements from Pinal Avenue to Interstate 10, authorizing expenditure of public funds and authorizing the execution of a contract.
Mayor McFarland, move that we approve resolution number 5587 as presented.
Second?
All right, a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, let's move to item I4. This is resolution number 5588.
Thank you. Staff recommends that the mayor and city council award a contract with Cactus Transport LLC, doing business as Cactus Asphalt, and that's for the Desert Valley Reconstruction Project, in an amount not to exceed $878,556. This does include a contingency of $114,594 as well. Staff is requesting we use the One Government Procurement Alliance, 1GPA contract, and that's number 22-15P. And this project will consist of asphalt milling down to the subgrade of these roadway segments, soil cement stabilization, and then repaving of a new 3-inch asphalt lift in those areas. The areas included in this project are the Desert Valley subdivision, as well as 3 cul-de-sacs, the Casita Verde Drive off of McMurray Boulevard, Paseo de Sonora off of, in McMurray Circle, and then Winona Court. I apologize, I mixed that up a little bit. So those are the 4 areas that we'll be doing this project on. We did budget for this project in this fiscal year, so with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Larry, is some of the money that we get from the county going into this project? So this is an example of the half-cent sales tax that everybody pays for that is coming up for a vote in '24. Anyway, it's monies that we use from the county to help maintain the communities. How many miles is that, or how much?
I don't have the exact road miles of the project. 3 cul-de-sacs, I believe they each have 4 to 6 houses on them, and then the subdivision, but I couldn't tell you the lane miles right off the top of my head. I apologize.
Okay, no worries. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay, thank you, Kevin. Call for resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5588, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting a proposal from Cactus Transport to LLC DBA Cactus Asphalt for the Desert Valley Reconstruction Project, authorizing expenditure of public funds and authorizing execution of a contract with or purchase order to Cactus Asphalt.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve resolution number 5588 as presented.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next item is item I5. Kevin?
Thank you. Staff is recommending that the mayor and city council authorize the city manager to execute a contract with Hunter Contracting out of Gilbert, Arizona, with a total bid amount of $15,246,282, as well as a owner's contingency of $1,524,629. And that's for a total of not to exceed spending authority of $16,770,911. This is for the southwest of our wastewater treatment facility. This is our wastewater improvements for part of our collection system. We did originally move forward with this project after design, and we went into a CMAR contract for this project. However, after looking at the project in more detail, we decided to hard bid this project because we felt we were going to get some better value out of that. So we did move forward with a bid, and Hunter was the lowest responsive bidder through that process. And the project includes forced sanitary sewer main, and that's 2 forced mains, 18 inches in diameter, 13,000 linear feet. So they're a dual pipe, total of 26,000 linear feet. We also have our effluent force main, which will be our pipeline that has an opportunity to discharge in the the main branch of the Santa Cruz towards Highway 84, but more importantly, allows us to deliver treated effluent for industrial users throughout that western corridor in our industrial area. And that's going to be a 16 to 30 inch diameter pipeline with 8-inch gate valves so that we can provide that effluent to different users throughout that area. And that is a capacity of 10 million gallons per day capacity of discharge. And then I forgot to mention on the force main, that has a total pumping ability of 25 million gallons a day. So that system can handle everything we foresee in the near future, and even further out than that for our industrial development on that side of town. And then there's also gravity sewers as part of this project, and that's to collect and deliver the sewer to that lift station. And that's approximately 2,500 linear feet in the Accortson alignment, and then 5,000 linear feet in the Bianco alignment. There's 21 manholes associated with that. And part of that project is also a very large jack and bore underneath the UPR railroad track. So this project really does set us up for the industrial development on that west side. We did budget for this project in this fiscal year, so with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
Just
Go ahead.
a comment, really. Obviously, this is a huge investment, but it's something that's needed as we continue to grow. You know, we go 10, 15, 20 years out. I was curious, you might not have it off the top of your head, but when was the last time we made these,
Upgrades.
improvements in some of these, as far as the sewer and I think it's probably been at least 10, 15 years probably, right?
So we did the Burris sewer line in this area, which is the main line that runs all the way down to Peters Road and serves a lot of the industrial in that area.
Right.
And it also, we took out some lift stations that were associated with our old lines and put those into the Burris line. That's the last major sewer improvement we did in that area. This is all newer sewer, new infrastructure. It's not replacing any existing infrastructure, but it gives us the ability to serve that area that we couldn't serve with that 36-inch Burris line.
It also sets us up for reuse of our effluent
Right,
too, right?
effluent.
So
Correct,
we'll
correct.
reuse the water.
Correct. Gives us that ability.
I just want to say Lisa brought up a good point about that, and the mayor with the reuse, but if we hadn't done that Burris sewer line, was it 12 years ago maybe?
12 plus,
Ish?
yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't have a lot of the industry that we have today, because we built that sewer line before anything was really out there. Now we got Lucid and Tractor Supply and a lot of other places out there now. So this is a good investment to make for our industry and expansion.
Any other comments or questions?
Just a comment, Kevin, because the project is going to be so large and talking about the traffic impacts, especially on that Corson Burris, what's the timeline on this as far as
So we are trying to finish this project. Our goal is to finish that within the first quarter of 2025. So our goal is to finish it before the end of 2024. So we've got a very aggressive timeline. The good news is there is no Courtson Road out there. It's just
Yeah.
we're using the Courtson alignment.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bianco, there's a road there, so there will be some impacts in that area, but we'll work with the development that's occurring out there and mitigate those impacts.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, then I'll call for a resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5589, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting a bid from Hunter Contracting Company for the construction of the West Area Wastewater Pipeline improvements, authorizing expenditure of public funds, and authorizing the execution of a contract.
Mayor McFarland move that we approve resolution number 5589 as presented.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, I-6. Larry, is this yours?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, staff is asking the mayor and council to consider a resolution approving a development agreement between the city of Casa Grande and Cactus 110 LLC and Mainspring Casa Grande LLC, and authorizing the final negotiation and execution of a development agreement and other legal documents related to the project by the city manager. And I know the mayor and council will recall from previous development agreements related to this project, Cactus 110 has acquired the rights to operate the Cactus Mine, which we all know is formerly the Sackatone Mine. While the majority of the mine lies outside of the city of Casa Grande, much of the property surrounding the mine that is intended to use for collateral and supporting operations is now within the city limits. At the September 18th regular council meeting, the mayor and council approved a rezoning of approximately 333.67 acres of property from the Maratea PAD to a new PAD entitled Cactus Mine Phase 2 PAD. Cactus 110 has asked to adopt a development agreement for the property to help vest and ensure the zoning entitlements for that area. This agreement is consistent with the prior development agreement entered into with Cactus 110 and now adopted PAD for the area. Both readings of that particular entitlement have taken place. The development agreement would be for a term of 20 years, subject to early termination if Cactus 110 does not close on this particular parcel, and with the exception for certain industrial properties or other properties owned by Cactus, would establish a 300-foot setback from the northern boundary of the property and any waste rock storage facility or leach pad, as well as ensuring a 3-to-1 slope beginning at the setback line for those uses. Cactus agrees to implement a local hiring policy where possible, consistent with the terms of the first agreement. So very similar to the agreement that the mayor and council had previously entered into. Cactus agrees to, the city's obligation include providing timely review of permits and approvals and contractually vesting the uses approved by the PAD zoning. In addition, it should be noted, and I know that the mayor and council heard this at the zoning case as well. In addition to the 333 acres, Cactus 110 is also looking to acquire other property from the Mainspring Casa Grande because city staff is recommending different setbacks, which is really the primary element within this development agreement, and development standards for the area. The purchase and rezone of that area will be by separate action and, if appropriate, a separate development agreement. I know that many have heard the economic impacts of reopening the mine in this particular area, but Rounds Consulting Group conducted an economic and fiscal impact analysis of the Cactus Mine in late 2020. The analysis summarizes both the restart and future development of the mine for an anticipated economically useful life of 28 years. That has been expanded since the original zoning case and development agreement. The report suggests the mining operation will produce immense economic activity for our city, Pinal County, as well as the state by generating new jobs and tax revenues. The key findings of the report outlined that one-time construction and future capital expenditures planned for the useful life of the mine are estimated to total approximately $642 million. Construction of capital expenditures for the mine over the useful life yields approximately $413 million in wages, which is equivalent to an average of 287 jobs each year, earning a wage of $51,400. The wages and overall economic output produced by operations is equal to $1.2 billion and $4.4 billion respectively. And finally, new tax revenues to state, county, and city are expected to total approximately $241.3 million, or an equivalent of $8.6 million annually. And I think the terminology that the Arizona Sonoran representatives have suggested is it's equal to a Super Bowl every 2 years in Casa Grande. So the overall fiscal impact to the city is negligible. We do not anticipate any meaningful fiscal impact to comply with the terms because we have no real incentives tied to this. And I just outlined the economic impacts that we anticipate as a result of the mine reopening. And so with that, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I would entertain any questions.
Questions, anyone? All right, seeing none, then I'll call for resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5590, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, approving a development agreement between the city of Casa Grande, Mainspring Casa Grande LLC, and Cactus 110 LLC, and authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute the development agreement and other documents reasonably necessary for the purpose of implementing the development agreement.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve resolution number 5590 as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. Gloria, please get a roll call.
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, we'll move into our item K. These are ordinance, resolutions, and other matters and subjects requiring action by the council. Item K1. Gloria?
Yes, Mayor and members of the City Council, I do have one of our commission, Arts and Humanities Commission members here, Joe Hankin, that would like to come up and address the council regarding this item.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First of all, thank you for considering the resolution. I know you have a lot of information. We'd like to just explain a little bit more about why we are considering the change from humanities to culture. And it really has to do with the definition. And humanities, they actually, it's a term. I taught humanities, so it's a term, and it describes the study of human society and culture. So humanities expands our knowledge of cultures and helps us understand what brings us together and what differentiates us. Culture is the aggregation of a community's beliefs, our attitudes, our approaches. I mean, you have a culture on the city council. We have a culture in everywhere we go. So it handles our social artifacts and the way we communicate. So social artifacts, which is what we're all about in the Arts and right now Humanities Commission, include all those wonderful things of theater and books and film and music and architecture, our sculptures that we're really looking at and we've expanded at the Rec Center, even fashion and other things that come before us and that we enjoy funding. And in fact, it was mentioned to me tonight, the Hispanic heritage activities that we had last week, all of those things, so many of them come to us. And so because we are part of that culture, we would ask that you would indeed consider and approve the name change from Arts and Humanities Commission to the Arts and Culture Commission. Any questions?
Any questions or for?
Thank you.
Well, thank you. All right. Any other comments, Gloria?
No, just to add, just one thing, just to add that this discussion from the Arts and Humanities Commission came about in our planning for our next 5-year arts plan. So in the next few months, you'll see it come before the City Council, and now it will also include the name change if approved.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't see any comments or questions from up here, so I'll call for an ordinance number, please.
Ordinance number 938.4, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, amending ordinance number 938.1 as previously amended to change the name of the Arts and Humanities Commission to the Arts and Cultural Commission, establishing the severability of the various sections of the ordinance and establishing an effective date.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve ordinance number 938.4 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, the next one, but you have Casa Grande Arts and Humanities in here. You're going to change that to cultural?
It wasn't changed
We
yet.
will.
Does that mean we'll have to redo this one? Or can you just change it?
Effective.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. All right, item K2. Gloria?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, this next action item before you is the ratifying the submission of a grant application by the Arts and Humanities Commission and accepting a grant award from the 4th McDowell Nation for our 2023 Arizona Benefits Fund grant. Now, the reason why we didn't put this on the consent agenda, first of all, is that we want to thank all of our Native community partners. We've been very fortunate to receive monies from Gila River Indian Community, Auction Indian Community, and Tohono O'odham. And we reached a little bit further, and we said, well, let's check to see if we could get funding from the Fort McDowell Yavapai Nation, and we were very successful in receiving $10,000 for our application for our mini grant program for our fiscal school year of 2023-24. Now, the Arts and Humanities Commission recognizes that there is not very many opportunities in our schools to experience art, whether it's through art classes or other classes incorporating some type of art. So our commission has been very active in pursuing grant opportunities and even budgeting monies from their allocation every year to continue this mini grant program. But we did want to take the opportunity to thank our Fort McDowell Yavapai Nation for granting this grant to the commission, but also to thank our other Native community partners, Gila River Indian Community, Tohono O'odham, and Auction, who have awarded in the past to the Arts and Humanities Commission.
Great, thank you. This is a great opportunity to get some art back and some work back in the schools, because I know this is an area that has been cut over the years, so applaud your efforts, applaud the commission's efforts for all they've done and going after the tribal dollars as well, the tribal grants. And thank you to our tribal neighbors too.
Yes.
So, any other comments? Anybody have anything?
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, seeing none, then I'll have a call for a resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5591, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, authorizing and ratifying the submission of a grant application to the Fort McDowell Yavapai Nation on behalf of the Casa Grande Arts and Humanities Commission, authorizing the city manager to accept grant funds for the 2023 Arizona Benefits Fund grant, authorizing the city manager to execute a grant agreement, authorizing the city finance director to accept and disperse funds as necessary, and authorizing the transfer of budget authority.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve resolution number 5591 as presented.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, time for our public meetings, public hearings. This is item L on the agenda. First item on the agenda is actually not an action item, but for our information. It is item L1. Paul, is that you or? Mr. Gagliardi.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of council. So this item in front of you is an annexation public hearing for the proposed Roping Ridge annexation. It's approximately 218 acres, and the annexation area is shown on the screen here. Burley Road would be the northern boundary, followed by, to the west, it would be the projection of Colorado Street. The south boundary is the alley that runs just north of the lots abutting Jimmy Kerr, and then it goes as far east as the existing city limits, as you see, that lies west of Arizola Road. This public hearing is conducted in compliance with a state statute which requires a hearing to first be scheduled after the filing of a blank annexation petition. The applicant, Daniel Degon, on behalf of the Nolans, had come forth with an annexation request, and the first step is to record a blank annexation petition. The Nolan property is just approximately about 58 acres of the overall 218 acres subject to this potential annexation. The reason for the additional acreage was for a number of factors. One, to comply with continuity requirements through the state statutes. And this time, there's not to be a decision made. Following this public hearing, the applicant can circulate the annexation petition to collect signatures from owners of property within the annexation area. There's 15 parcels within the annexation area, along with a 33-foot portion of 6 additional properties where the Early Road public roadway easement currently lies. In order to proceed after this meeting, the petition must pass both tests. When the applicant goes to collect signatures, they have to collect signatures from at least 51% of the landowners within the annexation area, and the land owned by these landowners must be at least 51% of the overall assessed value of the parcels contained within the annexation area. So once that is done or achieved, then there will be another city council meeting scheduled where council will be asked to consider annexing this territory into the city. And at that time, city council will be entertaining initial zoning designations. Now, those initial zoning designations would be those zoning districts that don't add additional uses or density to how it's currently zoned in the county. Some owners of properties within that annexation area may be subsequently requesting zone changes around that time for their particular land. Those subsequent zone changes will require both Planning Commission and council consideration. The initial notification for this annexation request actually occurred several months ago, and there had been a public hearing scheduled in June. But that annexation attempt was withdrawn, and the city had formally withdrew it through Pinal County due to a technical error. At that time, staff had heard from several property owners, primarily along Early Road. As a result of the updated notification for this evening's meeting, staff heard from an additional property owner. We were unsuccessful contacting them back, so it was uncertain where their particular residence lied. But through the message, their concern was that they were concerned that they would have to move if their property was annexed. And usually that's not the case, but we wanted to understand what their concerns were pertaining to that. With regard to the comments that I heard from landowners along Early, I provided this graphic to provide a little explanation. So the annexation area is in blue to the south of Early, but there's a 33-foot area that's part of the Early Road public roadway easement that would be included in the annexation. As you see, it includes a sliver of 6 parcels that lie on the north side of Early. And that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to offer more information and answer questions as you may have them.
Questions from council?
No, just a comment, because I know that the citizen that contacted me regarding this, I think it was, she was on Zion Street, and she was concerned about having to move, and she'd lived there for a long, long time. So I hope that we'll still be able to get a hold of her, just in the fact that we want to make sure that they understand, you know, what is going on. So I'll follow up on that as well. That's it.
Okay.
One question I had is some of these houses that are in here are kind of more rural. And I don't know if they have animals or not, but would they be able to maintain that if they have animals and stuff, if we annex them into the city?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Herman, that's a great question. So
I'm not sure if they do, but I'm just...
The quick answer is yes, because most of the county zoning right now is general rural. And assuming that animals are allowed in that zone district, which I'm 99% sure that's yes, because that's a very equivalent zoning to our urban ranch designation. And if the annexation is successful, we would consider an initial zoning designation that it can't add uses or density, but the most similar would be that urban ranch, which would allow those same entitlements that they currently have.
Okay.
Question.
Yeah, Lisa?
So, did you say that it started, so the Nowlin family has 58 acres, so is that where it kind of started? They wanted to annex in, then you said you brought in the additional acreage for continuity. So that many acres though? I mean, is it west of Peart? Is that what the additional acres over here, and the Nowlin one is over to the east of Peart?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Fitzgibbons, definitely all of the property east of Peart was necessary for contiguity purposes, okay, because there's certain rules about, because as you can see, it extends quite a bit south of Early, and you can't annex I think the rule is it has to be as wide, or there's a certain dimension as it is long. It's not a square that you have to annex, but you can't be beyond a certain length. So they needed to incorporate every property east of Peart that you see for the most part. And a lot of that property is owned by the Nolans, but there of course is some additional parcels that were included on the north side of Zion and on the to the north of Noble Circle, further to the east.
Why not below Zion, that little section right there?
There's nothing below Zion that is being annexed other than the Nolan property.
Okay.
But as the way the annexation rules work is the city has to consider including the entire right-of-way, so the entirety of the Zion Street right-of-way would be included, but not the lots that lie to the south of that right-of-way.
Okay.
On the west side of Pier, that was actually not needed for contiguity purposes. However, that property owner had pursued the city concurrently with a request to annex. And instead of me coming here the next meeting presenting an additional annexation request, they had the opportunity to participate in the annexation request with the Nolans.
Bob?
James, the section kind of in the middle but east of Peart, is the history of that area a dairy? But it's not functioning now?
Mr. Mayor, Council Member Huddleston.
That's Nolan's property.
Yeah, that's now.
Okay.
He's the dairy.
Yeah.
Okay. And is the small square closer up to Early, is that the cemetery?
It is, yes.
Okay. And does that present any challenges?
It's true.
Well, so the
Never annexed
cemetery
a
is.
cemetery before.
It is owned by the city, so we would
Oh, it
actually
is?
be, we would be, or not the city, but the Historical Society, correct? Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay.
But, so they would be one of the signatories on the annexation request.
Okay.
But it wouldn't present a challenge from an annexation standpoint. It would be more of, at the time that the property surrounding it went to develop, we would have to be mindful of compatibility and appropriate and respectful screening measures to give the cemetery its own space compared to what develops around there.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? All right, this is a public hearing, so before I open the public hearing, I just want to remind everybody to please, if you approach the podium, state your name and your address for us, for the record, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes. So this is on item L1, and it's an annexation public hearing. No action will be taken tonight, but this is your opportunity to address council. Anybody here?
You have the 2 cards?
Yeah, you had 2 cards. Yeah, I know, but I'm not sure that that's the.
She's here.
Oh.
She's here.
Yeah, well, they can come up. Come on, Tina, go ahead. If this is what you're here for.
I'm here for it.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff. Thank you so much for the opportunity to address the issue. We have been waiting since June, so I'm glad that this is happening tonight. Some of the questions that we did have, I live, 15188 West Early Road, so I do live right across the street from the far west corner of this. I have personally went and spoken with all 5 of the 6 owners out there. One of the main questions that we had, and we did have this question early on when we first got the notice, of the possibility of us being incorporated in also, to be brought into the city. We were told at that time that's not something that's doable. My concern is, and our concern is, that we are going to be a little tiny island now all to ourselves because everything around us is coming into the city and being annexed. I do have, like I said, I have one other owner that I need to go and speak with to kind of cover some questions that they have. It's been very helpful. The city has been helpful in answering a lot of questions for us. Also had a couple opportunities to talk to some other people. So we do have that concern. We don't want to be out there. I mean, we understand, we've been the county, we bought out there on purpose because it's the county and the animals and the skies and the stuff that we have out there, but we know that everything's moving around us. We're aware of that, but we also want to be very thoughtful of that and be aware so that we're not just stuck out there. We have some communities here in Casa Grande that have been stuck, and they are county islands, and they are stuck. And so we would like to know what steps we should do, what would be those things we could do to maybe try to get in with that, or I'm just concerned that if this moves along and gets approved after the process and then we come back, we've missed out in the opportunity to be considered. So that's our first and foremost thing that we would like to put out there, that we would love to have that conversation to see if we can move forward with seeing a favorable result on that. The other question that we did have was, because we do have that 33 feet, the easement that is on our side of, not our side, I apologize, it seems to be our side. We personally have taken it, but we're really concerned about where does that fall. We tried to get out there, it was pretty hilarious. We were trying to get out there and find out where does 33 feet go. We didn't even know where the center of the road is anymore. And so we didn't know how far in does that go. Does that come up to some of the fences? Because we do have block walls out there, and we have our turning and our mailboxes and things like that. So there was some concern about how far in does that go and what does that look like. Now we know that would all be rectified in the event that we can do favorable conversation and get our properties also annexed in, but we don't know what that looks like. So the other questions I think are going to all just, I think they're all kind of coming together a little bit. As we hear what's going on and follow this along, I think it's going to answer what the other things that we have. So
Okay. Thank you, Tina.
that's my statement. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
So can we ask questions on this, since it is a public hearing? So why can't we add that into the annex?
Well, and I apologize if there was a miscommunication. I think that it would be eligible to be annexed for sure. I believe the discussion is that at the time, the annexation process involves a formal survey and legal description of the entire area to be annexed. And at the time of the conversation, that annexation petition had already been filed, and it was proceeding around a very specific prescribed timeline. So it's good feedback to hear that there's some potentially other properties out there that may want to be included, but that would either have to be done at the very outset prior to the recording of the blank annexation petition, or there's an opportunity for those property owners to schedule a meeting with staff, and they could come forward with a annexation petition of their own that would include a map of the area that would be looked at just to make sure it is indeed crossing off all the marks for contiguity, although I don't see any red flags, and we would proceed from there.
Okay. Well, so it sounds like that they're a little late for this petition, but that there's a window that they could do their own annexation?
Correct.
Okay.
And another good point is that the state statutes are such that we can't annex around a property and leave a county island. It would automatically have to be included.
Right.
That was one of the reasons why the large 40-acre piece that you see to the east of the Noland area had to be included, because we wouldn't have been able to box that out without automatically including it within the annexation.
Okay, so if my understanding is correct, then they should come and talk to you.
Correct. Or maybe, and another thing is, because there's a lot of interest from different landowners, another opportunity would be if there's any one looking to annex west of the projection of Colorado Street, that would be a scenario where they would automatically need to include those 6 parcels. Because it would then box that in.
Okay. You guys okay with that? Mr. Gagliardi? Okay. All right. Okay, and then I think I had one more here. Aaron, Jacob?
Yeah, here he is.
Are you here for this one, Aaron? Yes, sir. Okay.
Item Jacob, 2327 Southport Road, Casa Grande 85122. We can solve that problem of not leaving island if we don't even do this project at all. So I am right on the corner of that Zion Street where it is being annexed or proposed to be annexed. And you're right about the concerns about animals. And the lady that commented earlier about people being gravitated towards a rural community. So I have animals, which only 99% sure if I can keep. And the concerns about bee moving is not, please don't take that as a technical concern. I don't know who said that. Technically, I may not have to move, but I didn't move to a rural community to grow animals for my own meat for it to be annexed into a city. Well, now I have to move. I have to go somewhere and find a rural, quiet place. So all I'm requesting is let me live in peace. Don't disturb my peace. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Aaron. Is there anybody else here that I didn't have a speaking card for who was here to speak on this item L1? All right. Seeing none, then I'll close the public hearing. Does council have any other comments on this?
No.
All right. And since there's no action, then we'll move on to item L2. This is approval of ordinance number 1178.441. Planning and zoning. Planning and development, sorry.
I'm just waiting for the screen to pop up.
Okay.
I can't think without it. There we go. So this is a request for PAD zoning for a PAD known as McCartney Commons, located on the south side of McCartney and west of I-10. A little background is it's currently zoned, it's approximately a 20-acre area, and there's a portion of it currently zoned B2 with the remainder of it zoned R3, which is B2 is a general business zoning and R3 is a multi-zoning or multifamily zoning. The requested PAD would essentially become known as McCartney Commons, where there would be a commercial area towards the northern portion of those 20 acres, and then towards the south, it would be entitled for multifamily uses. When reviewing criteria for zone changes to PADs, these all have to be evaluated, and the staff report and Planning Commission consideration of this back in June had contemplated these criteria, but I want to just focus on the highlighted items. The first is conformance with the general plan. All of these 20 acres falls within the commerce and business general plan designation, which does support both commercial uses and multifamily uses. And it does, this PAD does propose a combination of both those. When looking at appropriate land uses, you can see that not only does it include multifamily and commercial, but it does also encourage mixed residential, offices, etc. And it does include PAD as an appropriate base zone category. One of the goals of the general plan talks about improving site design in commercial and industrial locations, particularly those along higher value corridors. Staff and Planning Commission agree that putting commercial land use towards the north next to McCartney, with that close proximity to the McCartney I-10 interchange, is a good arrangement of proposed land use, with the multifamily sitting to the south. One of the action steps to that goal, however, is to encourage connectivity between sites for both vehicular and non-vehicular transportation. So what this PAD proposes to do is to extend Tucker from the south. Tucker Road currently lines the planned Marabella subdivision south to this and extends it north just to the east of parcel C. They can't run that road due north to McCartney because it would be too close to the McCartney I-10 interchange. So they are proposing an east-west version of that road running in between the commercial parcels and the multifamily parcels. The potential alignment would look something like this to the left. However, it's not quite sure exactly how the parcel to the west is going to develop. The parcel to the west is currently zoned urban ranch. There is a pending PAD zoning for a small portion of it, but it's unclear exactly if the alignment of that east-west road will work with ultimate plans for the urban ranch property to the west. But I'll talk about that in an upcoming slide here. Just put a pin in that and I'll be right back to that. With regard to conformance to zoning, the PAD guide does outline some development standards and uses, specifically within the multifamily area. It would have a maximum height of 35 feet. And then within the commercial area, it would have a maximum height of 45 feet, which would be a way to attract more intense uses that might be reliant upon that interchange, such as a hotel. Now, with regard to traffic impact vehicular ingress and egress, that was also looked at with the PAD. It's known per ADOT requirements that the preferred first full access location from the I-10 interchange should be Tucker Road, which sits about 1,500 feet west of the on-ramp and off-ramp there. But as you can see, this proposed PAD does not go as far as Tucker Road, where it lies north of McCartney. Now, they will potentially be able to have other types of turning movements onto McCartney. It just can't be full access. They will likely be able to get a driveway leading from their commercial parcels onto McCartney, but in terms of a full access condition, they would be reliant on Tucker, where it sits currently on the north side of McCartney Road. As I mentioned on that slide earlier where I said put a pin in that, I would be back. Currently, the way their land use plan shows the east-west road dividing the commercial from the multifamily is at a certain location in the PAD that may not exactly be where it will continue through the Harbor Ridge Apartments piece. It's possible that it might end up getting configured a little bit to the north or a little bit to the south in coordinating with the neighboring property. So Planning Commission did impose a recommendation for council to consider, which is due to the possibility of the relocation of the Tucker Road alignment between the commercial and multifamily areas. Planning Commission may authorize a change in the allocation of land uses within the PAD for each parcel by up to 20% in conjunction with the consideration of a major site plan. So basically what that means is the commercial area is approximately 10 acres and the multifamily area is approximately 9. While it gets worked out exactly whether that east-west alignment is going to go to the north or to the south will allow the commercial area to grow by as much as 20% or shrink by as much as 20% without it being considered an intensification of the land use as shown in the approved PAD. It provides some flexibility. With regard to the public notification efforts, we followed that which is required by city code. We did receive 2 comments. One was provided by the Knowles, who own the land to the west. They had concerns about that planned east-west road within the McCartney Commons PAD because it does predetermine the location of this road onto their property, affecting the potential size and locations of parcel configurations they may intend to sell, which is one of the reasons why we have pushed forward that recommendation that, you know, that road might shift a little bit to the north or shift a little bit to the south to help ensure that that be coordinated. They also had concerns regarding driveway locations onto McCartney Road. due to the fact that both the city and ADOT has very specific access management standards, particularly along a principal arterial, they had concerns that driveways leading onto McCartney within this proposed PAD would somewhat limit them potentially with regard to where they could put driveways onto McCartney on their site that fronts McCartney. At a PAD level, it's hard to lock into place driveways because we would need to see a major site plan where we get a full traffic impact analysis that would be assessed and evaluated to determine whether proposed driveways are safe and adequate. We're certain that that a true full access would have to be through the Knowles property via Tucker, but in terms of whether there would be some additional other more limiting movements east of there, it's going to be subject to individual traffic impact analysis reviews. Another comment that we received was from the Arizona State Land Board, who owns property to the east of McCartney Commons. They had indicated that although it is more of a major site plan concern, they would be requiring access to their land from McCartney Commons. Fortunately, that can be achieved with the fact that their PAD does include the extension of Tucker Road from the Marabella subdivision that lies just to the south. So at its July 6th public hearing, Planning Commission did move to forward a recommendation that City Council approve the McCartney Commons PAD zone change from B2 and R3. Subject to the following conditions of record. One was with regard to the ability for the commercial or the multifamily areas to increase or reduce in size by 20%. And the other one is the standard condition regarding the ability to acquire McCartney Road right-of-way prior to when we would ordinarily get it if necessary. We would ordinarily seek that out in conjunction with a major site plan, but this condition would allow for the city to work with that property owner to get the right-of-way prior to that if necessary. And that concludes my presentation.
So the McCartney Road right-of-way, we're going to have to get anyway because of the plan to widen McCartney all the way from Pinal to I-10. So it's going to be in process here soon anyway, right? So I think it would behoove the Knowles group to talk to the McCartney Commons group and figure out a good plan that works for both of them. Instead of one doing something and then the other not liking it and getting stuck with something. Is there any way to make sure they're talking to each other? I'm sure they must be talking to each other.
We've encouraged them to do so, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
I guess yours isn't working.
It's been acted up.
I understand they have been in some conversations, and primarily because the Knowles is, they do have property that is under potential sale contract to an applicant that's going to be seeking major site plan approval within the next month or two. So as a result of that, there's been some discussions, but I believe both the Knowles and someone representing the applicants here to elaborate.
Okay. And then just tell the state trust land to sell it. Sorry. Yes, Bob.
So I don't have any problem with the zoning change, but I hate what we're looking at on Tucker, that those don't line up. And I guess I would ask, as part of our master plan, was that addressed in any way? Was there an initial plan on what Tucker was going to do?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Huddleston, unfortunately, no, because our master plan only deals with arterial roadways. and Tucker is a collector road. But really what it stems from is that where Tucker sits on the east side of the proposed PAD is the original Hennis section line. Hennis doesn't go due north because it does run into the interstate interchange. So on the general plan, it shows it veering off that section line, and it actually lines up with Palomino Parkway. But had it been successful with running straight up that section line, it would have been an arterial in theory. However, it was exactly because of that realignment that had prompted the need to look at extending Tucker in such a way where it can line up with where it currently terminates, just north of McCartney, but yet meet up with Tucker as planned along the original Hennis section line, so it can continue moving traffic through the, providing traffic access for the Marabella PAD and beyond.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is, but it just doesn't look right. But, all right. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Matt?
Had a quick comment. I like seeing when we're adding commercial, actually adding net acreage of commercial to a project. So I think that'll work out well. As long as we can access it, Bob.
Yeah. The challenge down the road, next 5 years or so, is going to be McCartney's interchange. That McCartney interchange is going to have to be redone. It's way too small. And so that's something we'll need to look at. Maybe get it on the radar. If we could widen it, we could get a big retailer to go in there. Anyway. Okay, yeah, I have no more comments. Anybody else? All right, this is public hearing, so I will open item L2 to public comment. Is there anybody here? Yes, sir. Please state your name and your address for us, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Daniel Chambers. I work for Quick Trip Corporation, and I office out of 116 East Broadway Road in Tempe, Arizona. We are the potential neighbor to what you guys are looking at here. We just wanted to come and let you guys know that we have been working. We have been working with a neighbor. We've been working with the city to try to come up with a good solution for all of this. I know the Knowles are going to speak next and talk a little bit about it. But we have been, I'm sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. We've had a couple meetings with them. We're just working on trying to get the best layout that works, what they're going to do, what we're going to do with Tucker. I think we have a good solution that'll work to help to accommodate it and to alleviate some of the traffic and the concerns of getting over to them.
Okay, good. Hopefully there's a win-win there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, anyone else?
Hello, I'm Jeff Knoll, 4428 East Cayetu Berry in Phoenix, Arizona. Also here with my father, Bill Knoll, who's owned the property for a number of years. Just like Daniel had said with Quick Trip, we have been working with Simpatico or the potential owners of that property in regards to the alignment of the east-west portion of Tucker, which is why that 20% variance, I guess, exists when we are initially talking about it. But now that Quick Trip is at a point where we have our site plan, we know where Tucker would work for our property, and we've presented that to them. It doesn't seem like there'd necessarily be an issue with where we would like it for the Simpatico or for the McCartney Commons. It just isn't necessarily reflected in these slides, so I'm not sure if what needs to be done in regards to where these parcel lines are drawn to accommodate where our project is going to go. And then I think the east-west portion of McCartney aligning with our property problem would go away as long as they take a look at our site plan and then adjust their parcel lines by whatever north or south that it is, that would alleviate the problem there. I think that's all that I've got.
Okay. Well, thank you. So you guys are working on that, hopefully, right? And on with the McCartney Commons PAD.
Yeah, it's kind of tough, for this discussion, sounds like we're talking about just the east-west portion of Tucker as opposed to access off of McCartney. There's some other disagreements there. We've proposed, because we have the property line, sharing the access off of McCartney. They're not too sure what they want to do, whether, the city would like us to split it, the access. We're happy to do that, but they may not want that, so we're showing it either all the way on our property, we're willing to split it. So the access off of McCartney, there's some additional issues, but for the purpose of this conversation, sounds like we're talking about east-west McCartney. We have brought that to them. We do have our site plan, so we know where it will work for us. It's just a matter of them adjusting their property or their potential parcel lines to accommodate.
Yeah, and I just recommend, continue to work with them and work with the city.
Yeah.
Because as our plans are being put together now, right, we just approved it tonight, actually, approved the engineering, moving forward with the engineering.
Right. And
So
Quick Trip
make
site plan includes the widening of McCartney, and all of that.
Yeah, and obviously, I don't know if we're planning medians in there or not, or if it's just a 5-lane road, so that could affect things as well.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
anyway, work together, work with us, we'll figure a solution
Okay,
out.
thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other comments from the audience? Ma'am?
Mayor, members of the council and staff, I'm Jan Caldera with Matrix Design Group, 2020 North Central, Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm here on behalf of the buyer of the property, and I believe the owner also has a representative here tonight, the current owner of the property. So if you have any questions for us, we're happy to answer them. Access is the whole key to this property. You look at it and you think, well, it's great access, but then you've got the restrictions that we're dealing with.
Sure.
And I believe that the two owners are working together. As far as I know, there may be a disagreement or two, but when the site plan comes in, we will work closely with the city on
All right.
getting
Yeah,
those
and-
resolved.
And as this interchange develops and gets larger, of course, most of it sits in a state trust land piece, the interchange itself, the I-10 interchange. And there's potential development on the north of you, and then as this gets improved and gets bigger, these interchanges and these exits may change. So,
Yeah, I think if it goes back to a typical diamond, which I'm not aware of what the plans are for that interchange, I don't think it's even
well, we don't
begun
have
yet.
it, we don't have any, but
Yeah.
I believe it's coming.
But if it did go back to a typical diamond, if it's possible, that would actually give better access. It would move the interchange further to the east.
Right, okay.
You know,
Yeah,
and I'm
no,
just doing that just based on
Right,
measurements. We haven't looked at a design yet.
okay. Well, just keep that in your back of your mind.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
all right, thank you. We always like to see people working together. It's always good. Collaboration is good. So, and work with these guys. We got some of the best planners over here. They can help you out as well. So just keep in conversation because this is developing. So appreciate all your work on it too. So thank you. Anybody else here want to speak? Okay. Anything else from council? All right, then I'll close the public hearing and we'll call for an ordinance number, please.
Ordinance number 1178.441, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, amending zoning ordinance 1178 in its subsequent amendments by changing the zoning from general business B2 and multifamily residential R3 to Planned Area Development, PAD, on property located generally along the south side of McCartney Road and 1/4 mile west of Interstate 10, Casa Grande, Arizona.
Mayor McFarland, I move approval of ordinance number 1178.441 as presented.
Second?
Motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, we'll move to item L3. This is also a public hearing, and this is considering approval of ordinance number 1178.440. Jacqueline, is that you?
Yes, just waiting for the slides again. All right, good evening, council. This next request is for a zone change. It's approximately 4.8 acres located at the northwest corner of 11th Street and Schultz Street. And the request is from I-1 to I-2. From there. Here are the three categories we look at in regarding a zone change. The first one is that the action is consistent with the city's general plan, including the goals, policies, and other applicable elements. And one of the goals of the manufacturing industry land use category is to encourage and promote infill sites. The second criteria is that the rezoning conforms to the general plan, and the requested I-2 is an appropriate zoning district in the manufacturing industry land use category. And the third one is that the proposed zone change is necessary and proper at this time to meet the land use needs of the residents of the city. And per the 2030 general plan, expansion of industrial zoning within the manufacturing and industry areas is needed to meet the goals and policies of the city. And by changing the zoning to I-2, it would allow additional uses to take place in the infill type setting, meeting the goals and policies of the general plan. Regarding notification efforts, the staff and applicant met all the requirements. I did receive one phone call inquiry prior to Planning Commission, just asking what the request was. So with that, at the September Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, the commission voted 7-0 to forward a recommendation of approval for the zone change from Garden and Light Industrial I-1 to General Industrial I-2 with the following condition of approval. And again, this is our typical right-of-way condition. Happy to answer any questions.
Any question from council? Okay. Seeing no questions, then I will open the public hearing. Is there anybody here who is here to speak on this item L3? Okay. Seeing none, then I'm going to close the public hearing and call for an ordinance number, please, Gloria.
Ordinance number 1178.440, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, amending zoning ordinance 1178 and its subsequent amendments by changing the zoning from Garden and Light Industrial I-1 to General Industrial I-2 on property generally located at the northwest corner of 11th Street and Schultz Street, Casa Grande, Arizona.
Mayor McFarland, I would move for approval of ordinance number 1178.440 as presented.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, we'll go to item L4. This is again a public hearing and considering approval of ordinance number 1397.17.60. Jacqueline?
All right, good evening, council. This is a text amendment for self-storage in the zoning code. So staff has received inquiries for self-storage locations for a variety of reasons. The current code only allows self-storage in the B4 and I2 with a conditional use permit, and also PADs. However, most PADs requirements typically means the site must be at least 5 acres. The current CUP standards for self-storage are outdated and do not result in the type of product that we would like to see and is an asset to the community. So staff feels that self-storage is a good use on sites without certificates of assured water supply, and also are relatively good neighbors because they are low traffic generators. So this text amendment would allow self-storage in the B2, which is the general commercial, with the conditional use permit, as well as I1 as a principally permitted use. And it will also change the B4 and I2 from a CUP to a permitted use as well. Staff wants to raise the standards and aesthetics for these sites while allowing them in additional zoning districts. So this text amendment also establishes development standards for self-storage. Going over some of the proposed changes have been outlined in the RCA and staff report. I did want to hit a little bit on the development standards, which includes architectural requirements, establishes setbacks and landscaping requirements. Some of those architectural requirements include changes in planes, texture, masonry, windows or faux windows, trellises and vines, and some elevation changes, just for a few examples. Here are some examples of architectural details that we would like to see in self-storage products moving forward. Regarding notification efforts, a display ad was published in the dispatch, and I did not receive any comments regarding this text amendment. So with that, at the September Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, Commission voted 7-0 to forward a recommendation of approval to establish self-storage facilities within the General Commercial B2 zoning district as a conditional use permit, establish self-storage facilities within the Garden Light Industrial I1 as a principally permitted use, and change self-storage facilities from a conditional use in community services B4 and general industrial I2 zoning districts to a principally permitted uses, and establishes development standards for said self-storages within the B2, B4, I1, and I2. And the following sections have been amended. Happy to answer any questions.
I appreciate you doing this, Paul. Thank you. Thanks, Jacqueline. I didn't understand why we allowed storage units in I2 and B4 and not in I1. So anyway, this makes good sense. Thank you. Any comments from council? All right, this is our last public hearing item. This is item L4. Is there anybody here who is, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anybody here who wants to address item L4? All right, seeing nobody jump up, then I'm going to close the public hearing, and we'll call for an ordinance number, please. Gloria?
Ordinance number 1397.17.60. An ordinance of the City of Casa Grande, Arizona, amending Title 17 zoning of the Casa Grande Municipal Code regarding self-storage facilities, development standards, and uses, establishing the severability of the various sections of the ordinance, and establishing an effective date.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve ordinance number 1397.17.60 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right. Larry, is this when we're going to do it after the reports? Okay. We'll close this meeting and open this one? Okay. All right. Reports is our last item on this agenda. Anthony, I'll start with you.
Just want to make mention, Pastor Juan Hume's Celebration of Life Memorial will be October the 27th, next Friday. And it would be held at the Presbyterian Church, the Family Life Center at 10 a.m. Once again, it's Pastor Hume's memorial. It should be in the dispatch on tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be coming out. And so that we all just pray for his wife.
that it? Donna?
Just a couple things. Thank you to Clean and Beautiful, folks that came out and helped clean up our community. And then I also wanted to mention that we had a Girl Scout troop, 1449, that came to City Council last week and learned about government, how we work, and they were able to sit in the council chambers and had some play decisions that they had to make, and it was really good to see young ladies here trying to learn about the things that we do, and I know some of them were looking to watch tonight, and I hope that they were encouraged by the professionalism that we had in this session. And that's it.
Matt?
Just a couple things tonight, Mayor. Number one, the Youth Commission is having their day of shredding this Saturday at First American Credit Union from 9 to 12, and we'll also have help from the Public Works Department for e-cycling, so you can bring old electronics, TVs, telephones, answering machines, caller ID boxes, stuff that really confuses the kids on the Youth Commission when they see it, because they're like, what is this thing? They've never had a cordless phone, they've never had an answering machine, so it's great to see their faces. So, yeah, computers, all that stuff, bring it down, boxes of paper, we'll shred it for you right there. Donations are accepted. Following that, from 5 to 9 p.m. downtown, by the Neon Sign Park, is the Rotary Club of Casa Grande and Casa Grande Main Street's second annual Oktoberfest. And if you haven't seen the advertisement, if you want the opportunity to see me in Lederhosen, go to that event. So that will be downtown. Hopefully other people will be wearing Lederhosen, but if not, for sure I will. And my last name is German, and I have Dachshund wiener dogs, so I mean, they're not coming because they're jerks around people, but I'm coming, so. And I have raffle tickets for sale for $5 each. Notice it is still in the plastic as I have been shirking my duties. You can win $2,500. So if you want some, let me know. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, man. Jeff?
Well, first of all, I want to thank our city manager, Larry Raines, Councilmember Edwards, Councilmember McBride, Councilmember Herman, Councilmember Fitzgibbons, as well as you, Mayor, for attending our first annual Chamber of Commerce Bowl between Vista and Union. I think Mr. Weaver has a picture from the game. This is freshman Kayla Tacker from Casa Grande Union. And this is a heck of a catch, wasn't it, Anthony?
Nice catch.
And so, but it was a great night to showcase the talent, that we have some very talented ladies in our community that are playing football. Union will be moving on to the state playoffs next week. They should have a home game on Tuesday night, but we appreciate it was the biggest crowd of the season last week and all the support. Hopefully, all of you received your ballots for the upcoming override elections. I want to thank Jody for the excellent article that she did on Saturday about the bipartisan support of this. Also, Danny, this weekend, my dog and my wife and I went out for a road trip and visited some other communities and had some ideas for some Parks and Rec ideas. Sholo has the Meadow Walk with scarecrows, different ones similar to our Electric Light Festival where people vote on it. We really enjoyed it. And congratulations to Councilmember Bride, her donkey. They call it something else in Superior, but I want to respect those. We are a G-rated show. Won the championship for the distance, I think in about 2 hours, right, Donna?
I wasn't walking, you guys.
I don't suggest we have a donkey race here in Casa Grande. Those donkeys were not happy. A lot of them are very resistant. I was thinking during the opening prayer tonight how much we're going to miss Pastor Juan. I mentioned recently how hard it was to go after him when he came in here and did the opening prayer. He was my partner for the last 10 years planning in unity marches. I talked to Jody last week about he was the one that was inclusive and having multi-denominations present for different activities will be, I was talking to Councilmember Edwards tonight, we're going to be highlighting that this year in the Unity March and remembering him at that event as well. And so Anthony's got an awesome responsibility in how he's going to put all that together. And I appreciated Anthony's story about how difficult it was to keep Juan in a time commitment on some of his prayers and the stories that we've shared about him going way over this 2-minute time period. So God bless him and his family.
What's done is done is done.
Yes, sir.
This is coming.
Lisa?
Just a couple things. So I know this is the time of year where we have so much going on in the community. The weather's nice. And I was excited to see that we changed the Arts and Humanities Commission to Culture, because there's so many of these activities that we're doing with the Martin Luther King March, the Oktoberfest. This past weekend, we did the Hispanic Heritage Month downtown. And I'll tell you, it was, we talked about this in our strategic plan on events, and bring events with meaning and people, what the community wants. And I don't know if any of you attended, but it was a great event on Saturday. We had a large group of people. We had, the Spanish, bands, entertainment, arts and crafts. I'm just so proud of Casa Grande Main Street, Holly and Sol at the Community Services Department. Danny, she's just a little go-getter, and I'm just so proud of her taking this on and being open to change and trying something new, and just being there the whole time. She was just great. Great event, great night. Couple exciting things coming up, things that we've worked on for many, many years. CG Link, our transit system, they're going to have their open house, or I guess kickoff. It's a kickoff on Monday. I'm really excited about that at 9 a.m. at the Dorothy Powell Center. The fire station 503 groundbreaking is next week, also on the 25th. And the Halloween Harvest Festival is next week on the 27th. So a lot of exciting things going on. The mobile unit for the library is also next week. So there's so many activities going on. I recommend, people getting on the city website. It'll tell you the many activities with the city. We have a lot going on, a lot of excitement, and great time of year. Well, today's a little warm, but it's gonna get cooler here soon.
It'll be a little warmer tomorrow, too.
Yeah.
Bob?
Thank you, Mayor, but no report tonight.
All right, excellent. Well, speaking of culture, our destination marketing organization has a new website. It's called experiencecasagrande.com. And it is live, went live today. So if you get a chance to go online and check that out, it's basically it's the destination marketing website. So it's a great site and links to a lot of different exciting stuff that's going on, including a new Taco Fest that we're going to kick off on March 30th, this 2024. And so you get a chance to experience all the great tacos that are made in Casa Grande. So it'll actually have more than just tacos. It's going to have Southwest cuisine, but that's the theme of it. It's a Taco Fest. So keep your eyes out and open for that. And just, I always like to give some little statistics, but for the Greater Phoenix economy, just to give you an update, August 2022 and 23, the Greater Phoenix market gained 45,000 new jobs. Now, that sounds really good, but it's down from last year, and last year, that same time period, they had 88,000 new jobs, so it's about half. So, anyway, I think the economy is still strong, and don't forget about the Casa Grande Chamber of Commerce Business Showcase at the property. It is October 18th from 5 to 7. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be there. I'll be in Yuma at the Rural Transportation Summit. So, but I'll be thinking about you.
I'll be getting my free toothbrushes.
All right, that's all I've got. So thank you, everyone, and we'll adjourn tonight's city council meeting. Thank you all. We do have one more thing to do, though.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jody.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. Can we go